Hi, I'm Ken Jr. and welcome to Train World TV. Here you'll find the latest and greatest in model trains. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to our channel, we're glad you're here, and I invite you to click the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll never miss a video. Now, we'd also love to send you exclusive deals and special announcements that you won't find anywhere else. So be sure to sign up for our emails, TW Text, and stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Now, you can find all the links in the description box below or trainworld.com. And without further ado, enjoy today's video.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the latest Thomas Tuesday event for June 2024, already the 6th for 2024. I am here yet again with some wonderful guests. Ken Jr., as you know, has recently had another child. He is currently watching the child, and therefore Matt and I are on deck once again. He's put a lot of trust into us. And hopefully, Doug and everyone else viewing can say that we've been doing an okay job. We're not Ken, but we're trying to get there. We're trying to level up every single stream from here. So hopefully we'll get to Ken's level. But once again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in this evening. I hope everyone is well, no matter where you are in the whole world. Matt, my colleague, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing great, Christian. Just had a long day, long drive, but you know what? We're here and we're ready to do another fantastic Thomas Tuesday stream. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I was over in the other side of the world, in Japan, as a matter of fact, visiting my mother's side of the family for 2 weeks. And thankfully, I would say just about now I'm finally recovering from the jet lag, because for days it's waking up 3 o'clock in the morning, not being able to fall back asleep, and then getting hungry in the middle of the night, and just the typical jet lag that you experience when you're 13 hours away. But, we just charge it to the game, we keep it pushing, and life goes on. But thanks for the question. And Cole, our guest for this evening, with tons and tons of awesome customs to showcase. How are you?
Good. I'm busy and tired, but we're awake for the stream, so.
Yeah, awesome. And the man of the hour, every single stream, constantly surprising us with new Bachmann Thomas reveals. Doug Blaine, how are you this evening?
Just doing great, thank you. Great to be with you. Just for the record, Christian, Matt, you're doing a great job. And look forward to seeing what Cole has for us this evening. And always happy to be here with Train World viewers for Thomas Tuesday.
Awesome. And already the chat's going crazy, mentioning Cole and Doug. And I see my name too, but don't worry about my name. We're going to skip that. I'm going to see hi, Cole. And I see Matt's name too. Sorry, Matt, I saw your name. There we go. I want to make sure your name's listed too. That way I'm not forgetting anyone else. But yes, we are back for yet another stream. And sorry, just a sidetrack. I see someone even from Korea in the same time zone as Japan. Hope you're doing well over there. But yeah, once again, guys, we got another action-packed event lined up. Lots of awesome reveals, lots of customs to showcase, just to continuously keep the spirit of Thomas Model Railroading going. And to hopefully inspire some new people who are just getting into the hobby to start collecting and modeling their own. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to move it right on to Cole. All right, so first and foremost, Cole, please tell us how you first got into Thomas.
Oh, it was like when I was like 1 or 2, I got like a Ride on Thomas toy, and then it just went from there. Got some videos. I think the first video was Christmas Party, the VHS. And then, just went from there. Bought some Tomy trains, went all around, and then in 2020 I started getting into the Bachmann stuff, and it never left. So,
Awesome, awesome. So, were you always fascinated in Thomas, or was there a period where you kind of lost interest and then you got back into it
yeah,
later on?
around 2014 I kind of lost interest, and then probably a couple months later I got back into it. And
Gotcha. And what would you say was some of the primary reasons why you got back in?
it's just nostalgia, I guess. You know,
Feel that,
the
yeah.
older seasons kind of feel different than the newer ones, so you just go back to them.
Awesome. And I'm just looking in the chat here. Lots of excitement going on too as we go through these questions. What would you say is one of your favorite aspects of Thomas modeling before we get into all your amazing customs?
There's so much you can do with it. Like, and, you got season 3 you can do, season 1, 2, and you got people just go above and beyond and do their own thing too, like their own Thomas style, or you know, and then you can never get bored of it 'cause there's always something new you can do.
Yeah,
Like,
we never got complacent, right? There's always room for improvement, which is always the
yeah,
fun of it, right? We're continuously improving and progressing in our modeling. So,
yeah.
and Matt, you too, I know, have done tons and tons of modeling in various scales too, so you can certainly relate. Any words before we get additional words on that before we get into Cole's presentation?
I honestly, I didn't, I don't think I have any other words to say. I think I would love to see what Cole has to offer for us tonight.
Awesome.
Because this ain't about me. This is all about you're here. It's all about Cole. So I'm very excited to see what you
We're
have.
just passing the mic around. You know how we go. We go
Yeah.
impromptu here. So we're just
I
going
mean, if
around.
anyone, Doug for sure knows all about the different scales of Thomas. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I do have some knowledge, but I really don't have the in-depth knowledge that any of you have or any of your viewers have. I have a different level, and I'm pleased to know as much as I do about the island of Sodor and the characters. But your viewers are the true experts, and I defer to you on many issues. But anyway, I too am looking forward to hearing what Cole has to say and hearing his expertise.
Fantastic. And without further ado, Cole, we ready to get into some of those models?
Yeah, well, I guess we start with Thomas, I guess, since
All
it's the
right.
first one I got lined up. It's a lot of people use like the 3D printed shells, but I like to stick with what's there. So it's like it's a Bachmann Thomas, 100%. Like, it's all the Bachmann shell modified. I don't know what that's called. Almost like the smoke box piece to be thinner, cut around there, and then which side is it? It's this side. There's the wire, so the lights up here work and the taillights work as well. And then I don't know if you can see it, but there's a DCC chip in there as well. And Donald Douglas wheels, brake pipes from paper clips that just stick on there and pull them out. Just, anything I can use, I'll use. Screw links from Acura. I know they're made by Acura. I don't know where they came from. And brass buffers as well. And
And a
brass
question about,
whistles.
sorry, and a question about the face. Where did you acquire the faces?
Uh, Most of them from Shapeways, but started 3D printing my own and designing my own too. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know,
Fantastic.
that's it for Thomas, I guess. Put him back here. I'll just go in numerical order, I guess. Get the tender. There's Edward, season 1. Most of the same stuff with Thomas, all the Bachmann shell. Just extended the running board, or the buffer beam, and then cut the cab out. I tried to use what was there for the motor. It's like a firebox almost.
Oh, wow. And how did you do all that detailing in the cab?
I just hand painted it with the
Wow.
mandala tools. I just dab them on and, go from there.
What kind
There's
of tools?
Mandela tools are like for those painted rocks that a lot of people do. I had a whole
I
bunch of them,
see.
so I
Wow.
don't think I have one
That
right
looks
now.
like that's really detailed painting. That's great.
And there's the tender as well. Put Edward down because I feel like I'm gonna drop it. There's 3D printed step ladders, and they break every week, so just glue new ones back in. And
Hmm.
there's
And Tamiya
little
French blue, is
details.
that the blue that you used for these models
Yeah,
for a
French blue.
repaint?
Yeah,
Nice. I saw a question in the chat here about that. Cool.
this one's gonna be hard to pick up. It's not screwed down at all. It's Henry. once again, the Bachmann shell, but I cut half an inch off to shorten them a little bit. And cab details. Put on bigger, I don't know what you really call them, but the wheel arches. And, extended the running board, or the buffer beam. I'm going to call it a running board, I don't know why. But the feature with Henry is that I can just pull it off like that and put the old shape body shell right over top, which is also a Bachmann shell, which is, I get this one on top. You can kind of see what was changed and what wasn't changed. But yeah, see if I can show you the inside. And there's the inside. You can see that it's just a 3D printed firebox and then all the Bachmann shell.
Could we see that painted backhead detail or the interior of the cab?
Yeah.
That was really nice.
They both got one.
Wow.
So that's just painted?
Not for Henry. When I cut the original Bachmann buffers off, I take the buffer heads and I actually stick them in for the gauges.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah, you definitely have some parts in there, right?
That's really
Give it
clever.
more of a textured look.
And
I think that's the most detailed cab interior I've ever seen. I think that's great.
I really appreciate how the two different Henrys have two different cab styles. I really like that little detail.
I forgot to show this, but in season 1, Henry had like a ring around his face, so when you put the face on, you can kind of, it simulates the effect of like that little ring he had. I don't know if, I didn't notice it till like, you get right down to it, but.
And that's the fun thing, right? A lot of these
Yeah.
very minute details, we don't notice it when we're kids. Yet when we go back
No.
and watch the restored versions that are HD in quality, it's like, wait a second. Oh, I see that.
There's the fender form as well. It's also the Bachmann shell just extended a little bit on the top. It's hard to tell, but yeah, if you can see on the bottom, it's the Bachmann shell of the tender. I'm really going through these. Wow.
There's a question from Dan the 25 man. Which shape of Henry do you prefer, the old or the new shape?
Really old shape. There's something about it that just looks nice. Because he contrasts well with Gordon too, where it's all these different details he's got. But yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame that only appeared in season 1. I think it would have been kind of cool if they brought that back in other seasons, like for flashbacks to Henry's original shape. But you never know. Maybe in the future season, if they bring back, the older style of the show at some point, we'll have to see. Play it by ear, I guess. But
and there's Gordon.
Nice.
They're all the Bachmann shells, so I'm not gonna. I might repeat it. Probably will. He's cut down, same as Henry, just about half an inch, I think. There's buffers that I cut off the CGI render, glued on. He's also got cab detail as well.
Wow.
But Edward and Gordon had different lead wheels. Like Gordon had smaller ones, Edward has bigger ones, so I just swapped them out. I think there was something with the prop that had bigger wheels than everybody else. So, and there's a tender form as well. Not much, really, to look at with a tender.
What's the equipment on the? It looks like there's an equipment addition on the cab side of the tender.
I think it's the water pump. I have no idea what it's really called, but I think it's a water pump.
Is that something you 3D printed yourself as well?
Yeah. I think, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a water pump off the 78?
I don't even know if Gordon's prop ever had that, but if it did, I imagine. I mean, it's a nice detail. I know Henry definitely had them. But it's definitely off the 78 tender.
Yeah. I put one on James, but I took it off because I didn't think it was right. Speaking of James, how can I get him? Go this way. There's James. Bachmann shell. There's detail that actually cut off a kit instead of, Oh, it's hard to. Yeah, there's tender as well. Not much has changed. I just really shortened the buffer beam on the tender a little bit.
How much time does it take you to do those cab interiors?
Good 2 hours. If I'm really.
Really? Wow, that's way faster than I would have imagined. That's impressive.
Yeah, it all depends if I'm into it. Like if the day I start doing it, if I really want to do it, it'll take 2 hours, but I really don't want to. It's it takes forever to do.
Yeah, I feel that.
Do you use reference photos for the cab interiors, or do you just kind of go with the flow, do what feels right?
James, I just did whatever I felt right. Gordon and Henry, I just went with the reference photos. I think the other last ones with cab interiors, I haven't gotten around to doing anybody else. There's Percy, Bachmann shell. He's probably the one that took the most to get right, filling in the seam on the top, and then cutting down the toolbox, I think it is, there to be level with the sandbox. But he works pretty well, I guess. His prop had a gear on this side, so I think it was from iMac gear from Toby. I just glue it on. But
And it looks like you opened up that cab interior
yeah,
too.
yeah, I opened a little bit.
That's nice.
And then we got Toby. He's all cut out. I filled in the what's this called? Cow catcher. Put in glazing in the windows. Oh wow.
I was just about to say I love that face, but I guess not.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
one of the ones that I did.
Sorry, do you also
Yeah.
use glue tack to get the
Yeah.
faces on?
Toby's more or less just sits there and I hope it sticks.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's not sticking today. Yeah, it's one that I did in Blender. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done.
It's adorable. It's very Toby.
You really opened up the interior there. That's
Yeah.
great work.
I don't know if you can see it. Right there, there's wires running from here to there into the center. Because he's got working front and back lights. And he's
Oh, wow.
DCC. Everything's
Nice.
DCC except for the first 7 I did DCC. I haven't gotten around to doing anybody else yet. Oh yeah, see the comment here. Yeah, I did the
Okay.
wheels red too.
That's extra
Eventually,
prop accurate. Wow.
eventually, I'm gonna put Percy wheels in there and try and put side rods on there too.
That'll be
It's gonna
fun.
be useless, but I'll know it's there.
Yeah. Dan also asked which of the models you've done so far has taken the longest.
Probably Henry. Both shells
Henry.
took 3 years to get right.
Wow.
I'd cut it, wasn't happy, put it back together, break, and it was just a constant thing. This is probably the quickest one, was Duck. It's not perfect. I finished them this morning. Some faces.
This morning.
Were, yeah. I wasn't gonna include them, but I finished them just in time.
Sounds like me at school when I'm trying to get a paper in on time.
It's all, it's all the Bachmann shell. I don't know. I guess the cabbie they did give away. I filled the seam line in from the cab, put Donald and Douglas wheels on them, extended the bottom plate, and then what else did I do? I think that's it, really.
Are there brake shoes on the bottom plate?
Or
something like that?
Think so. I just seen it on the prop, so I just put it on. I have no idea what it is.
I'm pretty sure they're brake shoes. That's what I think. I imagine that's what
Yeah.
they are, or the rigging or something.
Something from
Dan,
the 55.
The attention to detail is there because that's the kind of detail you wouldn't really notice unless you really looked closely. You know.
Yeah. Take a break from the trains, I guess. Too. This is a newer one. He's really hard to pick up. If I can get him without dropping out. It's George.
Nice. Wow.
All 3D printed. He's starting to come apart already. I can feel it. He's all brush painted too, which is, for how smooth it is, I was pretty happy with it. So I can get him to the other side without dropping it. Yeah. Just,
He doesn't need it. It's fine.
You felt it. You felt it was coming.
yeah.
But to get that paint finish with just a brush is just great.
Yeah. See if I can. Yeah. I'm holding better now, where I got everything off. But
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It shows the construction, so that's cool.
yeah. I still gotta put the transfers on for the names, and then I gloss coat it and then he's done. But he's taking a while to do. Do Mavis, I guess. I got Mavis out. She was one I bought at Edison last summer. She was an impulse buy. I wasn't planning on buying her, but she's got red wheels just like Toby. 3D cow catchers from the, I think they're JMO's Trinos, scaled. Got her windows out. I'm still in the process of doing the handrails, but she doesn't have a screw link on the back. I must have forgot. Yeah, she's a simple one. Yep. The second last one. I'm almost done. It's
Well, with
easy.
this portion, you got a whole nother
Yeah.
portion too.
She's nothing really huge yet, but really the only huge thing is the faces with eyelashes. Tried, you know.
Yeah, you went full on David Mitten there.
Yeah. She's one of my favorite runners too. She runs really well.
Yeah.
The motor's amazing. I wish everybody was like that for the motor, but that'd be a huge undertaking to have that for every single motor.
Yeah, Doug, what's the secret behind Daisy's motor? Because I did notice she runs incredibly well. Like,
I just fantastic engineering on our part. What can I tell you? I don't know. It could be simple gearing inside, just because there's all kinds of room. It just helps us to not have gears too bunched up or smaller. So I suspect that's the key to why it's a better runner. Because the gear positions that we have to place everything to get the motor running and the eyes can be difficult in the smaller locomotives.
Yeah. This wasn't really a model, but he's one of my favorite releases, the Bachmann Frankie.
nice.
There's a huge story behind him, how I got it. Matt knows. Matt
I know.
Well,
Let's
I don't
hear
know
it.
it,
I was
so
there.
can you share it? Let's hear it.
I bought it. It was an impulse buy at Edison again, and then I just set it on one of my display tables and put like Kiss Cranky for $4, and we had one taker, and it was awesome. And then I bought Mavis right after, so quite. He's got chains up there, like the prop, and there's little seagulls resting on top, like in season 5.
Nice.
I might.
Oh,
I'm in the process of trying to remove the nub and putting a hole right there so I can get the winch, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it. It might just stay a thought. I don't know.
what brand are those seagulls? Are they 3D printed?
Yeah, 3D printed.
Okay, I was about to say,
I'm
those look
not.
really nice.
I think they're from Thingiverse, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm.
And these ladders are as well. But all
How'd
new
you do
ladders are.
how'd you do the weathering around him, or did you just like repaint him all together?
I just matte cleared and then weathered it with like, different acrylics. That's why
Wow.
that nub there is kind of. You can still see the original coat.
Mm.
Because I matte cleared and then I cut that off after. It was an afterthought to cut it off.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, like the weathering, it really looks accurate to like
Yeah, I
season
wanna see
5 and
that.
6. Like I'm really
Oh.
getting that vibe there.
There's also, forgot to mention, he had an outline in season 5 with rivets on it. And I just printed it, fillered it, and then, painted it. Painted over top. But,
Wow.
yeah. That's it I got for this stuff, but I got the slideshow. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
On to the next part.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a close of Thomas. There's more photos. Yeah, that's all the faces I got for him. Just a couple
It's
by
a good
Rec.
collection.
Yeah. I got more, but I didn't include all of them. That's just the Clearwater faces, season 1 to
And
2.
and again, until you really see them all in one picture, you kind of forget that Thomas has that many faceplates in the model era.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like,
I think I may be wrong, but I think he has like 40 something faces total.
Yeah.
that many?
Most of them are
It's a lot.
smiling faces.
Wow.
And there's Edward. Just up close of him. Just with Trevor. It's a Bandai Trevor, I think, too. all hand sculpted faces, and they're really tiny. They're like the same size as the narrow gauge faces. They're tiny. That's just the faces too. The season 1 face is probably the best one, I think. It's the best Edward face ever. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. It's the best Edward face.
I think that's pretty subjective, Cole.
I'm a big
It's
fan of
understandable.
faces.
It's a classic face, but I gotta tell you, man, I think I'm a fan of the season 2 face.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a toss up. But
I'm a big
I'll have the
fan.
season 1.
I'm a
Oh,
big
was
fan
that?
of the flush on the faces here.
Yeah, they're really hard to do. I gotta do the blushed ones last. So I'll use my shading brush and I'll forget to wash it out, and I get like a one I don't want to blush. It's like, oh, I blushed it, and now I have to redo the face.
Yeah, actually, guys, before we go into Henry, while we're on the subject, Dan the 25 asked all of us, which set of engine faces are our favorite? Cole, would you like to go first?
That's a hard one. I'm gonna be basic. I'm gonna say Thomas because there's just so many expressions that he has. So
Gotcha. How about you, Matt?
Set of faces?
Yeah, I guess just like all the expressions and such.
I'm gonna have to say James, just on the fact that his faces are hilarious, depending on the situation.
Yeah, honestly, I was actually gonna say James myself, just because when you look at sorry, my light's flickering. Anyways, when you look at his angry expression or his confused expression, just all the angles and all the creases, and it's just
Yeah.
hilarious, you know, like
I
you
love
said,
the
Matt.
smug
And
face.
even his surprise expression, the fact that they gave that the oval. Now, was that based on a Railway Series illustration, or was that just the David Mitten and the crew decision, for instance? Does anyone know? Because actually, that's something I don't know.
Probably David.
Gotcha. Anyways, I apologize for the digression. I just thought we were on the subject, so I thought I'd say. And Doug, do you have a favorite with the set of faces?
I'm voting with Cole. I'm going for Thomas. Anyone with 40 expressions is first in my book.
Awesome.
And there's Henry. He's got the old shape there. What else is there? There's whistles and sneezes. I finished that the day of, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna get lining done. That was like the day before I left for Edison, so I just threw Henry on, no tender lining. And then the very top photos from Christmas party, and I was filming that. The Bachmann Timmis sheds. Then I'm missing a bay. I need the extension piece. There's the Henry faces. There's a couple there. I think I got all the season 1 to 2 faces. Might be missing a couple, but I'm not 100% sure. And there's Gordon. He's got a couple attachments, like the winch. I think it's the Royal Crest. I'm not sure what it's officially called, but
Probably.
I found that was like close enough to the Railway Series and just threw it on. I know the TV series had it in a different spot, but I feel like if season 1 or 2 did it, it would be on the front. But I don't know. It's just a thought.
It's your model. You can do what you want, right?
Yeah. Then there's the faces. I don't have every single Clearwater face. I got the pilot face as well. Just really creepy.
Oh, I was gonna ask about this face.
It is creepy.
And there's also, you got the season 2 unpainted one.
We gotta have it. And there's James. I redid James right after Edison, using a shell that we absolutely mutilated in the show.
I do remember that. Yeah, I remember. Didn't you like give the chassis to someone else and just walked home with the shell?
Yeah, Matt took the
Yes, he did.
chassis, and they just left the box. I was like, okay, I'll have the box too.
That's what happens. You know, you go to these shows, someone takes the box, someone takes the chassis, someone takes the shell, you know, and the rest is history.
I remember one of the iMech guys shot out, and I just went looking for it because I needed it. I think I still have it. We ended up finding it. I think it was in my pocket somehow. But it was a crazy an hour taking it apart. And I
Sounds
think,
about right.
yeah. The next one should be the faces that we got. Yeah. James was an interesting one because he had 4 different or not 4 different expressions, but 4 alternate versions of the sad face. There's the blushing, the season 1 blushing, which is the second one. Then in Tenders and Turntables, he was green from spinning around the turntable, so I did that. And then the last sad face is from season 2. First
So
seen the
how are you?
signal.
Sorry for interrupting, but how were you able to distinguish the blush from seasons 1 and 2? Because they look pretty similar to me.
I know in season 2 he had it on the forehead, and that's the dead giveaway for me. It's like really
A
subtle on the
dent in the
top.
forehead?
Yeah, like
I
the
see.
blush is just really subtle on top.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Again, the attention to detail, the things you notice. Because
Just
I
gonna
can
linger
tell you
on
that's
this
actually something I never noticed till today.
This is
on
my
some of
personal
them.
favorite James face.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Yeah, the smug one. Yeah.
Some of them have lip detail too, which is very prominent in the season 1 and 2 faces.
Hmm.
You can really notice it on the laughing face, the fourth one. Yeah,
Yep.
it's really prominent on season 1 and 2. So and that was with the X-Acto knife that I just swiped down. The paint's still wet, and you get that effect. I shade them too by hand, and they're really hard to do to get right too. And there's Percy. A lot of people have a hard time believing he's the Bachmann shell, but I think those are during. I don't take that many photos of stuff. I just when I'm into it, I'll do it. And there's the faces are the next one, I think. Yeah, he's got 3 of the same. The season 1 smile, just the first 3. In season 2, he had a whole bunch, like different eyebrow positions, but I just stuck with 3. And there's Smug, 2 cross faces. He had different eyebrows in season 2. Season 2 had like a weird filming schedule. Have some eyebrows were like this, and then some weren't. Drowsy.
That's a little frightening. That one right there in the middle.
I love
What is
this.
that expression?
It's supposed to be drowsy, but
Oh, okay.
it's kind of
Yeah, he looks a little under the influence.
yeah.
I love the silly faces.
They're the best ones to do. So you have so much fun with them. And there's Toby. There's the better shot of the light in action. It's really bright. I think either Toby or Thomas, when I was doing the light, it caught fire inside the model and had to rip it out fast and put it out. And there's the face. I don't have that many faces for Toby, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, the sleeping one's an interesting one. Sorry, Matt, if you just go back just for a sec. Did that one ever appear in the show? That sleeping one?
Yeah, it was in Breakfast, I think. Breakfast
Oh, it
and
was.
maybe Daisy, I think too.
Okay.
But
For some reason-
I know Breakfast for sure.
Gotcha.
And then the rest are just random
There
videos.
was a
and whatnot.
long silence. I propose, said Gordon, that Percy be our, disputation.
I had to film that. I waited so long to get Donald Douglas, get all the faces for it, and then one of my friends said
Classic.
I should do it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but I'll make Gordon's eye that offset, just how it usually was in season 2. That was the result. I didn't do a set or nothing. I just set it up quickly.
It's all about the camera and the faces.
Yeah,
Mission accomplished.
I think that was after Edison. Yeah,
Nice.
this was a more recent video.
Nice. And that's the Bachmann Reneus right there?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I've only just started buying them. I wasn't planning on it, but you get one, you gotta get them all.
That's exactly
Oh,
what
yeah.
happened to me.
And me.
I got a Bachmann Rusty at Strasburg Railroad in 2019, and by January I had all of them.
Yeah. That's all it takes. Just takes one. And
It's
then
the
you're hooked.
one potato chip theory, right? You
Yeah.
can't have just one.
There's Thomas being painted. I think that's the 10th attempt at getting it right. 'Cause every time I paint it, it'd crack. I'd paint it, didn't like it. There's little imperfections. I had to like get it right the first time. That was the final one. Then there's Edward too. I did Thomas, Edward, and Gordon all on the same day. Painted every single one blue, and then just slowly picked away at them after that.
So if you said 10 attempts, did you like strip them in between? You can't, 10
Yeah.
layers of paint would be excessive, obviously. So what do you soak them in, or how do you strip them in between?
I just put them in 91% alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and then just scrape it, and then I gotta redo most of the putty work 'cause the putty reacts to the alcohol, but it's a
Wow.
it's a hard process to get right, and I get so frustrated when it doesn't come out the first time.
Well, it pays off.
Yeah. I'm in the I'm thinking about redoing Thomas too because he's getting old, almost a year, I think. And there's Salty. I bought him at a show for $30. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, $30, gotta get it. It's fucking Salty,
Really good deal, huh?
$30. Yeah.
Which, speaking of salty, Doug, where's salty?
Salty's a long-term project. That's all I can say.
It's become a meme at this point. Every single stream we go through the question.
And deservedly so.
And there's Gordon. I think either that was before clear coat or after clear coat. But I polished the side rods. I'm gonna replace them eventually, just not right now. Can't be bothered to do it right now. Other things to do, like Donald Douglas. There's Thomas on a set. There's like it was Thomas in the trucks, season 1. I had all the trucks, like, might as well set it up. And go to the next one, I think. There's Gordon. I love any of my videos. I love fog. I was just lucky to get the fog right in that photo. And there's Bill and Ben, which were fairly new to me at the time. But yeah, I love fog and models. Models and fog are just, it's like coffee and donuts. They go together.
Good
Yeah.
combination.
Coffee and donuts, bread and butter, meat and potatoes,
And the fog is a hard effect to get
Yeah,
right. So nicely done there.
thanks.
I remember I was filming once with a fog machine with an engine, and the engine had to crash for the shot. And when the fog blasted on the engine, it managed to actually seep its way up and through the funnel, and it looked so amazing. It was such a cool shot, having the steam come out the funnel at the same time.
My fog machine just sits right in front of what I'm filming. I want to eventually get it over so it runs underneath the track and then hooks up, just like the show, but I haven't gotten to that yet. Still working at it. That there's a shot of Sid in the Sheds with Percy Thomas. I think that's Edward.
Mhm.
I just ran some cheap fairy lights through the roofs. It's a cheap effect, but it works for what I need.
Looks great. Wait, are those LEDs?
Yeah. They just run off
Yeah.
battery. The battery box is, I think it's in the shed or it's just outside of it somewhere.
Gotcha.
And there's Thomas, I think that's an Emily Coach chassis that was given to me from my friend George, Bulldog 95. I don't know what he was planning with it, but I got it. I was like, I was gonna make a flatbed. So that's Emily Coach chassis as a flatbed. Just, this is my favorite. I don't think anybody will understand it, but in
Well,
the Diesel, one of the shots has the twins going through a shed, and there's just a random soup can just in the foreground. So
Yeah.
I got a cheap can of soup and just painted it, and it scales really well too. I've not used it in a video yet. And I was in the middle of filming something with James,
Is your supervisor?
Yeah, she actually likes to sleep inside the sheds. When she was really small, she'd go through the doors and just lay inside of it. I don't think she can fit now, but she used to ride in the G-scale Clarabelle Ave. We'd take the roof off, put her in the Christmas tree, and she'd sit inside.
I think
Go
she's seen
around.
some things.
Oh, that's great.
I think she was 3 or 4 weeks old when I
Oh.
took that.
She must have been really tiny to get through those doors.
Oh yeah, she was about that big, really, really small.
Wow.
I think you just need to send me this picture. I want to look at this all the time.
I will.
Yeah. Whenever we go through stress, depression, you just need that image, and then everything is all better. You know.
Got that with
Yeah.
in the sheds.
And there's Henry. That was a week before Edison, because he was the last one I finished. That's
0
the
out of 10
splashes.
cats.
Yeah. I was scared because that was so much paint. I think it was like 10 or 12 cans of Tamiya light green. To finally be happy with the results too. It's just amazing. I think the next one might be, yeah, that was the promo I used for Edison. Getting to line them all up too, that was season 1, right? What I set out to do was finish season 1 at the end of the year, and I did. And then I went back and redid them all after Edison. Thanks to an Italian, because he said my James should be redone, and I agreed, so.
That is a great group shot.
Thanks. That should be another one later on, a more recent one. That was the photo that was in the Henry shoot. It's just, you can see the tender has no lining on it. And those were 3D printed coaches that my friend, Engine Number 1 on Twitter, gave me. I think he had 3 of them. He just said, I don't want them, you can have them, so. And they're the
Ooh,
season 1
hard.
as well. Yeah. There's a hit toy, I think it's Trackmaster Signal Box, and I'm going to replace it with the Bachmann resin one. But I'm not sure if it's discontinued or not, but if it is, I'm going to try and get one. We need more resin
Sooner the
building
better.
stuff. We need more resin buildings.
I discontinued, and I don't think we'll be seeing any more anytime soon. Sorry to say.
Just gotta hunt down on eBay. You know, crack it down.
Yeah, grab it while you can.
Yeah. There's the Bachmann Ryan. I love the Bachmann Ryan. I wasn't expecting to love him as much as I do. He's just, that's like the intro signal. I was like, what if we had Ryan on there? So I just put Ryan on there, and he
And
really
Scruffy.
belongs. Yeah, that's the Scruffy. He's really orange, and I don't really like it. Because I think I did it once in 21, and I did it again in 22, and I still don't like it, so I'm going to redo it again. I'm really fussy, and everybody keeps telling me that.
Well, that's
Either
what makes
that-
your model so wonderful.
I think that's Edison.
Think so, yeah.
I do Farquhar for every show. I think, yeah, that's definitely Edison. I can tell by the grass mat lifting. There's Old Shape Henry with the red running board. I'm not sure everybody does the red first and then the green, but I find it easier to go from the top down. So I just paint the green first and then I'll do the red, just so there's no leak. I can't, you do the red first and you mask for the green, you're gonna have the red leaking. Or what? No, maybe the other way. Maybe you have the green leaking. I don't. Yeah, you get the green leaking or something like that. Personal preference, I do the red last. And there's Duck. I did Duck and Henry, the Old Shape Henry, the same day. You can see on Duck, the bottom piece near the face, it's like a plate. So I stick the balls in for the eyes, and they'll rest on top of each other so that they won't fall out, instead of having the whole circle hole. But yeah, he's Tamiya light green as well. Probably the best green for season 2.
I think the worst thing I ever learned about Duck's prop is the fact that he doesn't actually have doors and just the handrails. That bothers me so much.
Yeah, that's
When
a
I
good point,
noticed
yeah.
it just made me go nuts for a whole day. I feel like I've been lied to. I was lied to for 18 years.
Yeah, you
Didn't
know,
have doors.
They were not on their game in season 2 at times, you know.
And there's Daisy, just the faces with the makeup being applied. It's watered down paint that just, lightly brush on. And there's the eyelashes as well. There's a Boko face. I have no idea when I'm going to do Boko. But you got a face for him, at least. And there's Duck and Diesel. Nothing. And there's James being built. That was in the middle of a show. They had it was like a come watch people do that live, like build a model live. So I just took James, painted all the details there. That's about it for that, really. And there's Toby. He's got each plank is individually brush painted. And it took a long time. And I never want to do it again.
Been there.
And that's James with a Tommy James I did as a commission. Nothing, not a huge photo, but just, the difference between the ranges, I guess. And that's the season 1 stuff all lined up. With the large scale figures, I think that's a Dapple windmill. And later on, there'll be another photo of it up close, but there's a VHS. It's the VHS.
The OG.
And there's the Tommy Farquhar station that I tried to lift it up a little bit. But yeah,
Love the name placards too.
thanks. They're all styrene that I just printed out the names and stuck on, and then paint around it. Yeah.
Looks great.
And there's a photo of, I think it's a Christmas party. I had a really small sky backdrop. I think it's 3 by something. Maybe not even 3. It's small. I don't know how big it is right off, but it was small. But it was fun to film that. The snow, not so much to clean up, but I remember, I redid it again later to just bury the tracks. And Thomas actually was able to plow it with the snow plow, and it was just seeing a model actually plow the snow it was awesome to see.
Heard it here, folks. If you get the Bachmann Thomas and Friends Christmas set, the snowplow actually works. There you go.
And there's the large scale figures that I made. I couldn't find the G scale figures anywhere, so I just sculpted them all out of clay, like the show, and the arms move. Yeah, they stick on. And they just just like the show. There's a photo later of all of them.
I had a blast playing with them at Edison.
I think somebody has the Peter Griffin head. I know I have
Italian does.
Does he?
I've seen it. I've been to his house, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing here?
And that's the Christmas party, the ending scene. Every single light had to be put up on its own. I think there's 4 different sets of fairy lights on there. I don't have the expansion piece for the shed, so I had to make do with what I had. But in the actual episode too, they had Mrs. Kindly, Fat Controller, Top Hat, or whatever you want to call. I call it by the UK. At like a dollar store, they had like really teeny tiny Legos that were in scale with 00. So I just pieced them together and stuck them on the little Lego, like in the show. It's just a teeny tiny detail, but
Did you match? I don't know the episode well. Did you match the light positions exactly? I think that's what you're saying by how many light sets you used.
I tried to. I used in an original shot I did. I had the original set, and like really old LED ones. And I put them on. They were too big.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took them off and put the smaller ones on.
Well, the effect looks great.
I think they're all taped down to the turntable. And then when I was done, I realized I couldn't turn the turntable, so I had to leave it where it was at for the whole shoot.
Unintended consequences.
Yeah. And there's Ryan and James. My family does a Christmas layout every year. We used to, but they just now leave it to me to do it. So we went from Tommy, and then we went to 00. And that's it should be Thomas, I think, running on with the light. It's really bright. I don't like how bright it is, but. And that's the whole layout all lit up. It's not.
I think they left the setup to you for good reason.
Mhm.
And then they leave it for me to clean up.
Yeah.
I think I left it up till March, so I just couldn't take it down. Then there's Old Shape Henry with a sneezing face I got from Farquhar Projects. It's an interesting face. Just it's the sneezing face. You gotta have it. And that's the truck face. It should be on the. I don't know what you really call it, but I know there's a joke calling it the egg wagon. It should be on one of them, but in season 2 they had it on one of the trucks for the reference, so I just put it on there. It works. That's the Bachmann branch line brake van, I think. Because I had a spiteful brake fan from the Thomas range, but it actually broke in half, ironic enough. And I just got a Bachmann branch line for $2, I think, at a show, so to paint it up, went from there. It should be Wellsworth, but it's Farquhar Station, but we'll call it Wellsworth because that's what it's supposed to represent. I try and use what I have, so all the roads there are just they're silver envelopes for shipping stuff, and I just use them for roads. It's not the best, but it works for what I need. And there's another shot on the Tidmouth Shed set with Gordon, James, and Henry. I think I used that for my Henry build video when I was just doing random scenes. But yeah, that's not much about that one really. Just
I like the shine of like the lights inside the sheds kind of
Yeah.
reflecting off of Henry and James. A little bit of Gordon too. It looks really nice.
funny enough, James has no clear coat yet. We did him in November and never clear coated him yet. I think Old Shape Henry as well. I get nervous in the clear coat because I don't want to crack it. And there's I think it's Dapple, the windmill. And I went crazy and put a Bachmann Thomas motor just right in behind it. So I can, speed the blades up if I want to, or turn them down, or reverse it.
Wait, sorry, with a Bachmann Thomas motor?
Yeah, it's just right. The blade itself is attached to the motor. Like I took the gear off that connects to the gear wheel, took the gear
Gotcha.
off, and stuck the blade right inside.
Wow.
It's really iffy because it's one of the original 2000 motors, and the motor was really bad when I got it. So
Got the job done.
yeah, it gets it done, but it's got to warm up for like 20 minutes. And there's, I don't know if it's Bandai Birdie on a Bachmann Birdie chassis. It's the Bandai chassis all deteriorated from metal being old. So I just put the Bachmann Birdie chassis right underneath it, and it worked. And those are faces. That's a crop scan of Birdie that use Bachmann Thomas eyes. So just ripped them off from the mech, stuck them on Birdie. And there's the Bondi Terrence. I think he uses Bachmann Edward eyes, I think. And then there's Thomas on the Tidmouth set again. I do a lot on the Tidmouth set because it's just easy to put up. So I did the name board sequence, had the fog going. Just relatively easy to film it. And that's, I'm not sure what it was for. It was for a promo for season 2. They had Henry in the old shape, and I just took it, got rid of the background, and put a green background in.
Sorry, Cole, just to interrupt for a second. I'm just reading the comments in the chat. So, guys, if you're listening right now, we are going to get into the Bachmann releases once Doug gets to the reveals. So, for any questions about Bo or any of the other products, just wait or just bear with us for at least the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. We will get those questions answered as we get to the final part of the stream. All right. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, that's basically it's just a recreation of one of the behind the scenes photos. Not really behind the scenes photo, but a reference photo. It's really the reference photo itself was really choppy, so. And I'm not sure if I showed that to anybody yet. But that's a pre-printed mail van using Departing Now files from the Famous 8 that I just played with and slicers for my 3D printer and printed it, painted it, and quick and simple. And there's the Bachmann Donald Douglas. I remember, I'm not sure if you knew about it, Matt, but I lost the nameplate for Douglas. So I just designed new ones, 3D printed, stuck it on.
I was gonna ask because they are like 3D, like they
Yeah,
do stick out. That's nice.
they're all matte black as well. And that's when I was filming Thomas Comes to Breakfast. I contemplated on using the large scale Thomas with my large scale figures, but couldn't do it. So I just used the regular 00 Thomas or HO. In the next photo there'll be a picture, I think, with just a little house. I glued paper to the front of it and it's just, smashed Thomas a couple times till I got the right shot. It worked, and then, there's just Gordon and Henry on the shelf. Unimpressed as usual. Everything around them.
Is the Gordon face a custom face?
I think it's from Thomas Modeler Fan. I think it's a pilot face. The rumor is it's a pilot face, but it's from season 1. And I believe from Domeless Engines as well, on the Viaduct. There's like a promo picture on the Viaduct set where he had it.
I don't remember this face at all.
Yeah, there's Trevor with us. That's all scratch built, the whole shed. And then each plank was toothpicks individually glued on. Took forever.
Wow.
Is that another one you'll never do again?
Yeah, never doing it. In the photo, it's really hard to see, but there's actually like raptors in the roof as well.
Ugh.
I have it right here actually. But yeah, there's like rafters in the roof.
Wow.
That's great.
It's showing its age. Some of the glue's on doing them, but yeah.
So sorry, what did you say you used again? Was that balsa wood or like wooden coffee stirrers?
For the planking was just flat toothpicks.
Oh, toothpicks. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And there's just Bachmann Peter Sam. I was really surprised getting that at Christmas time. Wasn't expected at all. He's another one of my favorites. I might get another one just to have a second one.
I love Peter Sam.
That's also a custom face I did in Blender as well. I took the scan and just redid it. It's not 1-to-1, but it represents what it's trying to. There you go. There's what you're waiting for. There's all the figures lined up. There's the driver and fireman for Thomas, Fat Controller, Jeremiah Joplin, and then just a random driver and then Porta. I know Jeremiah was really popular at Edison.
Mm.
And there's Bachmann Frankie, just up close. Then I think there's the last thing. Yeah, that's the last. It's just one video. It's one of the sets. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I wish when I filmed that, because I did the field first, and I had all the ballast down, and I wasn't thinking I put all the snow on top of the ballast, so I had to throw away the ballast and the snow. It was all mixed together, and it was just terrible. I wasn't even going to bother separating it.
Nice. And real quick, what face did you use for Cranky? There's a question in the chat about that.
It's also a prop scan that I just cut the eyes out and
Nice.
scaled it down. I've made a couple using the scan. I think I got all the season 6 ones that I did.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's all I got.
Awesome. You've also got your phone here. Did you want to show your set? Do
We have time, or we don't have time?
Let's do
Yeah.
like a speed run through that if we
Okay.
can.
Yeah, I got Henry laying on it for some reason, but I'll mute here and then. Oh yeah. So there's the set. See if I can turn it that way. No. Okay, we'll do it this way. There's all these tracks, a bunch of clump foliage from woodland scenes, trees. That's basically.
That's very season 2.
Yeah, that's basically all I do. I use Alice track as well, and woodland Alice. But, yeah. I can get the shot like that if I wanted to. Great. I'll go back to the computer.
And last
Yeah.
but not least, you had an Island of Sodor.
Oh,
posted
yes.
yesterday, right?
I do. Forgot all about it. It's big. I know it was at Edison. I think Matt wanted to buy it off me.
Yeah, probably.
It's all clay. It's all. I can't get in the light, but it's all 3D as well.
Yeah,
It's done.
It's amazing.
It was done in 2020. It took a week to do it.
Yeah, I just thought that was definitely worth showing, and I'm sure a lot of those, including myself, a lot of us are hoping to acquire something like that for the future too, because it just looks fantastic, especially given that it's not just 2D. So,
Yeah.
And you did that out of clay?
Yeah. It was all
Wow,
air dry clay, I think. I'm not sure what brand it was, but just
very nice.
fantastic. Well, Cole, thank you so much for giving us such an elaborate presentation, from the up close models that you showed live to the massive PowerPoint there that you set up with the faces and the sets and everything else. Again, it just goes to show that the possibilities through Thomas modeling are endless, and there's definitely lots of young fans and customers. And I'm sure, Matt, you've probably seen a few young customers too while you've been working at the store, who are just getting into the hobby. And it's going to be interesting, once they reach their teen years or later on, if they're going to also take on to these, weathering techniques and set techniques, and the list goes on. So just thank you so much again for the inspiration.
thank you for allowing me to come on. It was a pleasure to be on here.
Awesome. All right, guys, before we get into the reveals by Doug, we do have an intermission raffle. As always, I'm going to put this right on. And we are raffling off Farmer McCall. That's right, Farmer McCall, who I believe actually just got discontinued this year. So he possibly will become quite rare in the next year or two. All right, so definitely grab your hands on this one if you can. But as always, I've got 2 questions lined up. All right, and they are, first and foremost, what season did Farmer McCall first appear in? And then what episode was he specifically called Farmer McCall, or did the narrative refer him as Farmer McCall? So the first question is just about the season. Where did he appear? So he doesn't have to be mentioned as Farmer McCall. What season did he appear? That's the first question. The second question is, what specific episode was he titled or called Farmer McCall, or referenced as Farmer McCall? All right, those are the 2 questions. And as always, please put both answers in the same post so that they're all in one.
For the last stream, you had like the 3 questions lined up, and I thought that was way too hard. Nobody was going to get it.
I'm so sorry, Matt. I forgot to mention this, guys. All right, so this is my fault. The episode that he appeared in that was called Farmer McCall has to be the debut episode. In other words, the first version of that episode. It has to be the first version of that episode, because the answer that you're putting for the second question, guys, just think again, was he actually called Farmer McCall in that episode, the first version?
I don't even think I know when he first appeared.
Sorry, I worded that so badly. God, and now everyone's putting the wrong answer. Actually, I see. All right, now they're coming in. All right, good. Now they're coming in. So once again, we're gonna give it one more minute. The two questions are: what season did he appear in? Did he initially appear in? Not Cole, former McCole, and then what episode was he Cole, former McCole? But again, it has to be the first version of that episode that was released, not a later release. There we go. All right, now I'm starting to see the right answer.
You know, people are always on top of these questions.
They are. I now saw about 8 correct answers, so we're in warm territory now.
Like again, like at the last stream, you had those 3 questions. I was like, oh, no one's ever gonna get that. And this one almost feels like it's only these simple 2 questions. Almost feels like it's almost like you're giving it to them.
Never underestimate the knowledge of the fandom ever. They've got this. All right, another few seconds.
Because who wouldn't
And
want to
then,
own
once
these
again,
videos?
the winner will be heard from us through our DMs, most likely through Twitter or Instagram. So if you are the winner, you will get notified by us via DM. All right. Awesome.
All right, Christian, are we on? Oh, there we go. Okay, good.
Are we all set?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. The time has come once again for the latest reveals by Bachmann Trains. I'm super pumped up because this is a brand new rolling stock tooling and in 4 variants. So without further ado, we are going to bring it over to the man of the hour, Doug Blaine.
Thank you very much. Before we get going, you said there were some questions on Bo. Bo is shipping now, or it's in stock. So I don't know if it's made its way to Train World yet or not, but it should be available at Train World very shortly, or to favorite retailer. But hopefully, Matt, I don't know. Do you happen to know if it's in stock? I don't know if that's your area or not.
So I don't actually do any of the website stuff, but I actually was informed today by my friend Steak and Cake that Bo is no longer on the website. So I'm going to imagine that right now this is just he got lost in the transfer between pre-orders to in stock on our page through our sorting system. So I'm going to imagine he's lost in there right now. I'm going to bring it up to Ken after the stream and see if we can figure that out tomorrow.
Well,
yeah.
That's good news for those who are waiting. Have been waiting. Bo is on the way.
Fantastic.
All right, good news there. So then, now we're ready for our reveal. So I showed you the test shots of our 12-ton vans before. So these are our first painted samples. And I'm going to show you the first one. This is our gray version. This is a good goods mover. The only caveat I will give you is that the door handle will be painted the same color as the body. So this is just a sample, and in all instances, for all the samples I'm going to show you, the handle will be painted the same color as the body. So as I said, good utilitarian van, can move lots of product on your railroad on the island of Sodor, and I think this will be very very welcome addition to your railway, I should say. All right, so there's the gray version. I think I'm going to give you the Christmas version next. So maybe you know which episode this was, or what series number.
Yeah,
I do
bonus
not.
points to those who write in the chat.
This one has silver vents on the ends. I think it's a nice cheerful paint scheme for the holidays.
It'd be nice to put on the Christmas set too.
Absolutely. All right, there we go there.
I imagine we'll be seeing these in like the Christmas special packs soon.
Well, this is separate sale.
It is. Is it only separate sale?
Yeah, this is our only Christmas item that we have as separate sale to date. Alrighty. And then we've got our Funfair van. This is the red version.
These are my favorites coming up.
There we go.
Fantastic.
So this one has the white buffer bases and also the white lining on the wheels. So that's actually white paint, just not a metal reflection, white paint there. Again, the handle will be yellow in this case. Nice and cheerful, something a little bit different. And we got one more to show you. This is actually my personal favorite of all four. It is the blue version of the Funfair van, and I think it just it shows up really well. The blue is actually showing a little bit darker than it actually is on the camera. Makes it look a little bit darker, but anyway, it's a very festive looking van. Here we go. Again, the white buffer bases, the white lining on the wheels. I'll put both these Funfair vans together. String a couple of those together. I think it'll make a very nice consist.
I really
I love
like
that one.
Yeah, I was
like Matt, you said it, Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the colors, like the shape's like inversed. It's
Yeah,
a really nice
exactly.
feature. I really like that.
Mhm.
Excellent. Same thing for the other side. I mean, yeah, pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow. Wait. Actually, can you do that again? Sorry. Oh, so they're not
So
the same
I
on
get-
both sides too. Wow.
I gotta. There we go.
It's awesome.
I never even noticed they were like this.
Yeah, no.
So
me
in
neither.
that case-
I always thought it was just the same on both
Wait a
sides.
minute.
That was prop accurate. I had no idea.
Great attention to detail.
There we go. There's a different arrangement to show you that way. That color combination.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun. I need like 40 of them.
Me too.
Ringling Bros on Sodor.
Beautiful. All right, and then I'll just show these two together just for the heck of it.
Very cool.
Lots of Christmas presents can get delivered in that gray van. So there you have it. That's our reveal for tonight. And the good news that Bo is on the way. You should have it very shortly.
I have been informed of, thanks to the chat, because I did just check as well. Bo is in fact back up on the website. He is listed as in stock. So if you do have your pre-orders in, he should be shipping soon. Here, I'll
Fantastic.
get a picture of Bo up real quick.
That is great news.
There he is. There we go. Add to cart. New arrival sticker. There
Yep.
is Bo.
Just
And
friendly
Bo-
reminder, Bo does not have moving eyes, but it does have an operating headlight.
And one additional question, Doug, because I know two people asked
Sure.
me this actually through DMs. Is Bo still a limited release model, or is he going to be staying in the range for?
To be determined.
Okay, all right. So get your orders in, guys, because yeah, they weren't sure as to like how far to put Bo in the priority list, given how long he'll be available.
Well,
I'm-
according to what you said or Matt said last show, that Bo was one of the #1 pre-orders.
Yeah.
We may rethink another run if it remains popular. But originally we thought it was going to be limited edition, but now we're not sure. We might rerun it. So
Mhm.
Yes,
can't
Bo-
answer quite yet.
At the time of this stream, the top 3 Bachmann, Thomas, and Friends pre-orders are Enskill, Gordon, Thomas with DCC Sound, and Bo. And now Bo is available, so Bo has moved off that list for obvious reasons. But yeah, so the #1 pre-order at the time is the Bachmann Enskill Gordon. But Bo is number 3.
Awesome. So that is it, folks.
Fantastic. And as always, Matt, you could say it, but I'll say it too. You can get all these products from trainworld.com, pre-orders, in stock, even out of stock. Just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we'll definitely get it for you. And just to see the amount of products that are on the way is just absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
There are the bands right there.
And now that we have the prototypes, I imagine once the prototypes are finalized, we'll get proper pictures for these up on the website as well.
Fantastic.
Yep, we'll send some your way shortly.
Amazing, because we did just recently. Oh, what happened there? Okay, cool. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties. I don't know what happened there.
Oh.
You are back.
Yeah, there we go. We did. There are proper product pictures in the catalog for the N-scale wagons, so we have those up on the website now for the proper product pictures. Again, get all your pre-orders in.
Awesome.
You know what? Just comment below. What are you most excited for from the Bachmann upcoming pre-orders? Obviously, we know Thomas and Gordon are upcoming. So what are your guys' personal... What are you guys ready for from Bachmann?
Yeah.
I'm personally looking at Taliclan because I like it.
At what, Matt?
I'm personally looking at Taliclan because I like it.
Oh, the Taliclan, yeah. I think you guys, I've said this many times, but the HO figure packs, man, like that's going to be so cool when they come out.
I wasn't as excited when it was like announced, but after seeing the sample, I think in the last stream, I'm really excited for the Fat Controller's car. It just looks amazing. Like the sample of it.
Thomas car, yeah.
I need one.
Well, we're working hard to bring them all to you.
Awesome.
Let's see. What are people excited for?
Someone said Stanley.
Someone
Someone said salty dog. Salty. Someone said.
Oh, I'm sorry about Salty. We'll get there eventually.
N-scale Henrietta, Sir Handel. A lot of Sir Handel. Yeah, that's a very.
I'm also excited for Sir Handel. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how Sir Handel and even Duncan are going to look.
Wow, a lot of Stanley too. Yeah, I see a lot of Sir Handel and a lot of Stanley. And figures. Nice Nintendo. I'm with you there.
All right, we are working hard, believe me. We want them to come out just as much as you do.
Awesome. All right. And I think that about concludes our latest Thomas Tuesday live stream. So once again, Cole, thank you so much for coming on, showcasing your amazing modeling work, inspiring others to join into the hobby, and really just explore their capabilities altogether, because, you know, none of us really ever get complacent. We're always constantly trying to improve our modeling, and the possibilities are endless altogether. So just thank you so much for the inspiration and showcasing your talent and artistry.
Thanks for letting me come on. It was something I've been waiting for years, and get the opportunity this time. It was awesome.
And Matt, my colleague, thank you so much for helping me out once again with sharing screens, showcasing, the Cole's PowerPoint there, as well as the products that we have listed there. So I'm glad that Bo got all straightened out too, but just really helping me out all together consistently through Discord and through, communication at the store. It's always been a pleasure working with you whenever possible.
Absolutely, of course. Really quick, just before we sign off, I did just catch in the chat.
Yeah.
White House Films, also known as Michael White, who was a writer on Thomas and Friends, was in the chat. He is the person who wrote the episode about the Christmas fan that you just showed off, Doug.
Oh, terrific. An honor to be in the same space.
He's here, Matt?
A little bit up in the chat.
What did he write?
He said, hey, someone messaged me saying that the Christmas wagon I wrote an episode was shown.
There he is. I had to put him in the chat, no doubt. Awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Alrighty. And last but not least, Doug, thank you so much for showcasing the latest products as always. I've said this many times, but given everything that's coming out, it's clear that the best days are still ahead of the Bachmann Thomas line. And thank you always.
Always a pleasure, Christian. Cole, great modeling. I know I commented a couple times, but those backhead details were exceptional. But everything was great. And Matt and Christian, always a pleasure to be with you and with your viewers. And we will keep things coming as best we can.
Fantastic. All right, guys, keep the spirit of Thomas modeling going. Have a great day.
Outro, outro, outro.